Hey everybody, this is Uncivil Liberty coming at you again on this wonderful Wednesday night, January 17th of 2018. And as you can see, we're missing somebody. Um, uh, After this snowy weather that's put the entire state into a state of emergency, it appears Whit may not be able to make it tonight.
Yeah,
The
we
only
will.
state that I've ever lived in that even the chance of snow shuts everything down. It's
We will rebuild.
yes, yes, never
Hey,
forget.
from what I
Hashtag never
gather,
forget.
we're not the only state, that has been shut down by this. Um, Large parts of Georgia have. Uh, Apparently, the state of Texas just gave up and said, we quit.
Well, that's how
So,
I feel about Alabama, because it's even before anything came in, like the governor had already signed a state of emergency, and then I look outside and it's like an inch and a half of snow. Like
Yeah.
well,
I think this whole
part of,
state of emergency thing is getting a little too much play, just a tad bit too much play on this. I mean, I can understand, yes,
yeah.
stay inside, stay warm, state of emergency. If everything's a state of emergency, then nothing is a state of emergency.
Yeah. Well, part of it I don't think was just the snow, but the projected low temperatures, which wound up actually being lower
Yeah.
than the forecast.
Yeah, single digits for Alabama. It doesn't matter where in Alabama. Single digits in Alabama is cause for concern because especially our electric infrastructure is not really designed to handle that much of a pull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the first time that I remember getting like emails and social media updates to turn off lights and shit so the
Yeah,
grid
yeah,
doesn't fall apart or whatever.
yeah. It's being held together with duct tape and old and
Baling
old
wire.
Crimson Tide paraphernalia.
Like all the people that are using space heaters and shit are probably not on social media, I guess. I mean, I that's just I don't know. Maybe that's my privilege showing. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
there's your white privilege right there.
I guess so.
I'm using space heaters. I
Are
do
you?
zone heating. Oh yeah.
See, I only use space heaters like right when I get out of the shower, just to warm up a little bit. But
Ow.
hmm,
No, yeah.
For us,
nah.
space heaters are really the only practical option.
What the
Uh,
fuck, man? Where? I mean, am I
You should get one
just
of those big kerosene heaters. I want to get one of those.
nah? That you know what? When I was a kid, we had a kerosene heater that was a pretty good size, like a foot and a half in diameter or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And it
Those
had a
big
cage
ass.
around it so kids
Yep.
could fuck up. Well, I snuck some. This is the night after Halloween or morning after Halloween. I snuck some Skittles and dropped some Skittles on top of it on accident and couldn't fucking get to it because of the stupid ass cage they put on it. So all my Skittles burnt and melted on top, and it smelled like just burnt sugar. It was pretty good.
Oh,
It
you
was
smell like
nice.
caramel in there.
That's my one kerosene heater story.
Oh.
for us, I would be afraid to use a kerosene heater because I have a 110-pound ox that is about as
Literally,
graceful
literally,
as
he has a house ox, ladies and gentlemen. He has
I
one of
mean,
those. Yeah. We also
he,
have a 110-pound ox in our house.
he has no grace. He is a lumbering oaf. Sweet
Sounds
as
like you're
can
describing
be.
my oldest. It sounds like you're describing my oldest child right there.
Sweet as can be, lovable as all hell, just wants to be petted and loved on, and which, given given the situation he came from, because he is a rescue, not surprising. But yeah, he is no, I can just see him knocking it over, and suddenly the living room has a big, puddle of fire.
Yeah. Well, I mean, see, you do have a pretty decent insurance company. I will say that because I have looked at your homeowner's policy and I was like, it's not a bad company. You might as well get what you pay for out of that.
Fuck yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
Isn't that why kerosene heaters took like a side to the? I remember when my parents like finally got space heaters. Like they got the kind that plugged into the wall instead of the kind you had to go downstairs and fill up when your balls are freezing. So I don't know. Isn't that what they like some government body just deemed them that they were unsafe? I mean, they are kind of
course.
unsafe. Obviously, you got dumbass kids
I mean,
running around or
you
whatever.
can still buy them.
yeah. I mean, they're not illegal. I'm
Where
pretty
where
sure
would
that
one buy one? I mean, I know they weren't illegal.
I'm pretty
but-
sure Walmart carries them.
Tractor
Really?
Supply. I see them all the time
yeah,
at
they
Tractor
got
Supply.
fucking everything there.
I'm you see me, you're like, this guy doesn't shop at Tractor Supply. I do. I mean, they got great deals on dog food, and if I'm ever needing stuff for whatever hobby project I've got going on, Tractor Supply is usually my.
Well, I'm not gonna have a fucking kerosene heater. I don't think we have too many idiots running around here, but.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I've got 4 dogs and 4 kids, and that's just somebody is going to get hurt. Somebody is going to get burnt. Somebody is going to be permanently, not just temporarily or emotionally scarred, permanently fucking scarred because of this kerosene heater. But shit, I can't. I mean, like, everything down here is electric heat, and if you let the thing run at 72, 75, you're looking at hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Ours is gonna be pretty high this month. But see, that was the thing at our old house in Tony. We used space heaters a lot, and as soon as we plugged in a space heater, doesn't matter if we had it. Like, we have one that's it's got a thermostat on it, and it's pretty accurate, and it would get the room up to 75 or what it cut off, and our shit went up to a couple $100 more than what it was at the old house. But the old house was a piece of shit, so it was kind of like you could literally look up in the closet and see the sunlight coming through. So
that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah, we don't have that.
So we ditched our space heaters for central heating and air when we moved here.
Well, we keep our house a balmy 65 degrees in the wintertime, ish, depending on how cheap I'm feeling at the time.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way, man.
The kids are always bundled up. I'm like, hey, you're cold. Go put some more clothes on. God knows you have enough of it.
Yeah. That's pretty much here. We're between 60 and 65.
Yeah.
Is where we aim for.
It's weird because I've become so acclimated to it. When I go to somebody's house that has the heat like at 70 or above, like, I start to sweat. Like, I'm just pouring sweat.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like everything dries out. I'm like, oh my God, it's a sauna in here. Like, I go over to Rob and Christina's house.
Oh God, yes.
I'm just like, I'm just sweating. It's like, because they like to keep that thing at 75, somewhere between 75 and fucking Inferno.
Floridians.
Oh my God, yeah, that's Florida for you
it's
guys.
not that bad. I mean, it might get up to 73 around here. Actually, someone got their 3s and their 5s confused here. So someone had it on 75, and we all thought we were gonna melt. So
yeah,
first world problems though. Hey,
that's true. Yeah, we could be beating out fucking saltwater crocodiles out of our backyard.
That's true. But I will say this though, with this whole state of emergency that Alabama's been under, it's pretty much kept the embarrassing news at bay.
It has.
It seems like ever since this whole Roy Moore thing that we just we all went through together, we all bonded, and we really pushed through the whole Roy Moore debacle. It seems like every single week Alabama has got something in the news, and it doesn't help that Jeff Sessions is currently sitting in office, who as Attorney General, so he always shines a beautiful bright light on Alabama as a whole. But it's been quiet on the Alabama front overall. Outside of a recent bill that has passed through the Senate, our state Senate, in regards to marriage, pretty much the state getting out of the marriage game, which is something that libertarians as a whole have been arguing since years. Like, get the state out of it now. Actually, Alabama, of all states, is working its way slowly out of the marriage governance industry, which they're doing it out of spite.
Right.
But still, I mean, I don't really care about the catalyst. I care more about the overall end result of it all.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's not so much that they're getting out of it. They're getting out of one aspect of it. Marriage is still a state thing. It's just you no longer have to get a marriage license. You have some documents you can get. You fill them out and have 2 witnesses sign them, and take them up there. They enter it. You're married.
Sounds like it's a contract to me, which is actually what marriage technically is.
Right.
That's
and the fee's going to be the same as a marriage license.
Oh. That's one thing. That's one thing that I just don't get is not only do you have to ask permission from the state to be able to get married, but then you have to pay them for their permission for you to be married.
Yeah.
For what? what strain on the taxpayers or on the revenue stream of Alabama are you having that they need to get that extra $35 from you?
Yeah, I don't know,
Well,
man.
my understanding is it's primarily considered to be a filing fee.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
God damn. It's like car sales. If you ever go and buy a car, you're gonna see this thing on there called a dock fee.
Right.
A dock fee, for those of you who don't know what a dock fee is, it's a bullshit charge. And I used to sell cars, so I know what I'm talking about. I've seen the craft, I know what I'm doing. But a dock fee is just a bullshit charge where it's money in their pocket. Now they're going to say, well, by law we have to hold these records of the sale for 7 years, and that pays for storage for 7 years.
$499.
600 bucks for $600 for like 7 pieces of paper. I will look. I mean, I'm a huge entrepreneur. I love it. I will be more than happy to start some sort of I guess document holding facility for $300 for 7 pieces of paper. I will
That's
undercut.
right.
I'll undercut everybody. But no, that's what it is. It's just a stupid bullshit admin charge that you can't really get around.
Yeah, we used to have one at the dealership I work at called a PAC charge. PAC, all uppercase.
Packs are great. We should do an entire show on how the auto industry or how the auto sales industry works. Because
Yeah.
packs, you talk about raping the wallet.
No
That
shit,
right there.
man. It was $1,323, right? I remember. I will always remember that number. And it just got fucking skimmed off the top and sent to some bank in the Caymans or whatever the fuck it had. That shit, it's just fucking ridiculous, man.
Yep. It's a sketchy, dirty world, and that's why I left. I just couldn't be a part of it anymore.
I've heard the stories.
Yeah. Oh my God. I pretty much just kind of tossed a grenade in that dealership because after a lot of the sketchy shit that was going on there, and walked away. And I was like, I ain't got nothing.
This wasn't even like a particularly sketchy dealership. It's just a regular old fucking dealership. A big brand dealership, still dirty.
Yeah, so was this one. Yeah, this was the local. I don't care. It's a local Subaru dealership. I mean, I sold a boatload of Subarus.
You got a pretty sweet jacket out of it.
I did. I had a $65 jacket.
That's a sweet fucking jacket.
Out of everything, I like that jacket.
One year we got really cool fitted hats, like the Flex Fit hats. That's what we got out of it.
Nice.
Of course, I made a shit ton of money there, but whatever.
What brand are you comfortable saying?
Ford.
What brand you're?
Yes,
Ford?
Ford. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, those guys lost their dealership or something.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
It's just so sketchy. Kind of like how the state works with this whole quote unquote filing fee.
Mm.
Yep.
I mean, everything gets digitally imaged anyways, so you got to pay in $35 for one person to put a piece of paper into an imager, and then what?
That's it,
That's-
man. I guess.
that's it.
I mean, you do get to keep that novelty piece of paper, but it's not even really that great. Like my first
and-
marriage, our marriage certificate from Arizona was pretty sweet. Had like gold flake on it and stuff.
Yeah,
pretty
so
nice.
was mine.
Yeah, not this motherfucker here. Just a piece of pink paper with some blue outline. Congratulations. She's not your sister.
Or she might be. We just don't know.
Yeah,
because,
we just don't give a
It's
shit.
Alabama. We don't care.
Give us $35. Move along.
But yeah, so that's what's going on here as far as the big news in Alabama with the whole that's not involving Roy Moore or not involving some sort of scandal, crime, or something from the GOP.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of curious to see how the other half of the legislature is going to kind of look at this to see if it actually goes through. If it does, sweet.
Well, it still has to get past the governor too.
That's true, but it's an election year, so I don't necessarily know where she's going to fall on this. Because honestly, like if it's being supported by the Republican-run House and the Republican-run Senate, I don't think she's going to, split ranks.
Probably not. I mean, honestly, this seems to be an issue that, oddly enough, both sides kind of agree on. Let's get government out of it.
Finally.
Yeah.
Not many bipartisan
But
issues, but this seems to be one of the few.
There's
Right.
still a lot of fucking argument saying that the government should be in it. Like
There's no credible argument.
There's not a credible argument, and it's not even really an argument to keep government in it. It's an argument to keep the ceremony in it because that's what God wanted. And I'm like, oh my God, Because that's literally the argument I had on like WAFF or one of these things. It was like, well, as a Christian, I have to have a ceremony. Well, congratulations, don't be a
That's
Christian.
your fucking religion. Your religion is your problem. I mean,
That's
that's,
It ain't my problem. It's just goofy, man. I don't know.
Supposedly that's part of why they're doing it. They're separating the ceremony from what the state does. You want to have the ceremony? Go have your ceremony. But, it doesn't have any impact on what the state does.
Well, good.
that's
They are literally separating church and state.
which is
It
weird
was
for
very
Alabama.
surprising in the state.
Which is very weird because they like to blur that line a lot. Like, wasn't it 2017 they had something coming across the legislature about letting a church have its own police force that was
Yeah.
paid for by taxpayer funds?
Yeah.
I'm like, does nobody see a problem with this?
Yeah.
And
I don't
only
think it was
only in Alabama can a Baptist church get its own SWAT team.
Yeah.
My understanding is
come on now.
it was not going to be paid for with taxpayer funds. The church was paying for it out of its own pocket. It's just they were going to have their own law enforcement agency, and these would be actual police with all the rights and everything of any other
Yeah.
policeman.
Well,
Yeah, I do think that there was something in there about taxpayer money though, because it had something to do with the arrest, like what happens after the arrest. So I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was a governmental stench about it that I remember having.
If they make an arrest, I think they might have a holding cell, but very shortly afterwards, the perpetrator would be taken to the city or county jail.
I remember they were going to be able to utilize the Huntsville City Police Department training grounds for free. That's what it was.
Nah.
So they're basically
So that
going to
means-
block off periods of time where Huntsville police weren't training, and it was going to be these farm team cops or whatever.
But this is Alabama. I mean, it's like, if Lindsay Lane Baptist Church police force comes knocking at my door, I'm just going to look at them and be like, I get lost.
You get the fuck out of here.
Well,
Okay,
and
what
again,
the fuck are you doing here? We're the law around here. I'm like, no, God, no.
Again,
No, please, no.
from what I read, their jurisdiction would have been just the church grounds.
Then what the hell? Then just get a security force.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, you can do a citizen's arrest and then wait for the police to get there and then have it officially charged. You don't need to.
I mean, if it's such a big deal, like you got one of these dickheads like Dylan Roof or whatever coming in to shoot up a church, if you already have a dude there with a gun, he's allowed to shoot that guy.
Exactly.
Like,
I'm all. I mean,
Why
I'm
do you
not
need extra shit?
I'm not a Christian in any way, shape, or form. I don't like the church in general. And then that's more from a philosophical perspective. But they still have the right to protect themselves. And if they want to have their own little tactical Timmies at the door, no problem. I have no problems with that because it's not going to impact me at all. And if it keeps some crazy fuck from shooting up the church, great. Awesome.
So be
Whatever do what you got to do, It's a business just like any other business out there. If you feel like you need to protect it with guys with semi-automatic rifles, awesome. Do it. That's you.
Yeah.
You don't need the state to kind of say, we're going to deputize you as Officer Reverend Tactical Timmy here.
Speaking of deputizing, you guys see the other new law that the Senate passed? Well, it's not a law yet, obviously.
Our Senate or
Alabama Senate?
Alabama, okay. This is the Alabama hour right now.
So I guess
I'm going to say no.
since it's 2018, I figured it was about time they passed something like this, but it made racial profiling illegal. I'm like, what the fuck is that? That wasn't already illegal?
I don't think that'll pass the governor's desk.
No way, not a fucking chance.
He'll be
But
like,
yeah,
wait a second, we can't just shoot random black people anymore?
Right.
What?
It specifically lists that that racial profiling is illegal and that police officers now have to record the race of the person they pull over. So regular traffic stop race is going to be part of the ticket, I guess. I don't know. So they can keep tabs on how many black people you pull over.
You get a ticket for being black after 9 o'clock or something? Is that what it is?
That's probably the case.
Well, son, what are you doing out in these parts? You're not allowed to be out here. It's past dark.
Yeah. So I mean, I really don't. Obviously, racial profiling is terrible, and I think most of us agree that cops just don't belong doing most stuff. But most things they just don't belong. But the idea of having to take someone's driver's license, which you can look up in the system as the state, you can look up in your own system and find out what race this person is. But now you have to have a piece of paper that says what race this person is. So now I guarantee you they're gonna scrap all these fucking tickets and reprint a whole batch of brand new tickets, millions and millions of tickets that just have fucking R underneath it. Who is this? With a blank above it, white or black, or some kind of Mexican.
Or
right?
It's like a question mark.
I want to say
I have no clue.
I want to say the last time I saw a ticket, the way they were doing it now, they actually have a printer in the car and they're printing them on demand.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I got a ticket, or a warning in Athens, so warning may be different, but it was still handwritten, carbon copy type. This is a couple years ago, so I don't know.
I want to say they're now being printed on. They have a little printer in there and they print on demand.
That's pretty cool.
That's good. I'm happy for him.
I'm proud of them. Yeah. That's one less fraction of a cent I don't have to pay.
Yeah. All right. So, anything else we need to cover as far as Alabama goes for all of our excited listeners hearing about Alabama politics? I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Not really. I mean, the only other news is Snowpocalypse 2018, and we survived it. And
yeah.
Never forget. Hashtag never forget.
We will rebuild.
We will rebuild. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So another really good topic. Some shit that's been going down this week. California constantly has me in some sort of bipolar state because they're doing something where I'm just like, that's completely fucked up, and then the next day they do something where I'm like, oh, okay, not so bad. It's kind of like the mirror image of Trump, because Trump will do something where I'm just like, oh, it's fucked up, and then I'm like, he'll do something like, he'll say something, I'm like, okay, all right. I don't necessarily disagree with that. Okay, but it keeps you guessing. It's one of those areas that really keeps you guessing. Like, they were wanting, the governor was wanting to create its own country or some shit like that, And then I was like, oh, okay, you do what you got to do, whatever. And then the wildfires break out, and he's demanding, or the floods or some shit. He's demanding the federal government step in and pay all this money to help fix it. And I'm just like, you just wanted to leave this country 2 weeks ago, but now you want the rest of the taxpayers to cover your problem, and then I'll get all pissed off about it, and then I'm like, oh, we're gonna legalize magic mushrooms. I'm like,
yep.
Keep me guessing, California, keep me guessing. But apparently now it's like, was it 21 counties are looking to
at least 21
carve themselves off and create their own 51st state.
Basically, from the map I saw, a little bit north of San Francisco, down along the coastline to just south of LA, those counties will be California. The rest, nice little carve out around them, would be New California.
The bulk of California.
The major bulk of California. And from what I saw of the reasons why they're wanting to break off, and this is why I don't think they'll be allowed. What was it? They didn't like the rules and being ruled by the liberal coastal cities. And all the rules being handed down from those liberal coastal cities. So
yeah, and that is one thing that California politics. I don't claim to be an expert in California politics, but if you look at just the demographics of it, the highly populated areas are very much on the left side of the fence, whereas the rest of the state leans pretty heavy to the right at times.
Especially the north.
Well, it depends on what part of the north too, because when you start getting Northern California, you're getting into the whole Chico area, which is very, very pro pot, for example. When I was out there, very much pro pot, very much support gay and lesbian equality, stuff that's not necessarily Republican GOP type of platforms. But it seems like there's this constant battle, but we only see what really goes on on the left side. Like it's everyone thinks that California as a whole is just a bunch of left wingers who are who are hell bent on communism, which is not really the case because it's a constant power struggle there between both sides. And from what I understand too, like you're starting to see more of a libertarian based movement in some areas where libertarians are God bless them, somehow they're doing something that Alabama can't. Libertarians are actually developing credibility in some of these circles. Again, unlike Alabama, who
Nope.
our party utilizes a dead guy's PayPal account for 5 years to process payments and wonder why they can't get taken seriously by the GOP or Democrats. It's like, what the fuck,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, enough about that shit show. Let's talk about California.
Yeah, well, back in
Yeah.
California. No, I mean,
When we're referring to someone other than California as a shit show, then yeah, something's wrong, man. But it's pretty. I mean, this California's a bit of a conundrum when it comes to politics because Schwarzenegger ran as a Democrat. I mean, as a Republican and won. So it's not like this entire huge populace on the coastal area really runs shit. Or maybe they voted for him because he was in movies. Who knows? He was one of Hollywood's own. Or maybe they voted for him because he's an immigrant because that's kind of the things that one of their platforms as well. So I'm not really sure. I don't claim to know California politics, just like no one else should claim they know Alabama politics.
Alabama doesn't even know Alabama politics.
Right. But I do know that this is like one of 200 times that the Northern California has tried to separate from California.
Yeah.
Excuse me, one part of California has tried to separate from the other. It's like the 200th time.
As for Schwarzenegger, I think a lot of it is the fact that, yes, he ran as a Republican, but he was about as Republican as a Blue Dog Democrat is an actual Democrat.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, he maybe a little further. Like if a Blue Dog was a little bit further to the left, he may be a little bit further to the right because of some of his verbal banter back and forth with President Obama when he was in office. So I mean, I think he does side a little bit further with Republicans, but not hard right. Yeah, he's not Ronald Reagan. He's not other types of California boys. He's the California Republicans. He's not a hard right winger for sure.
No. And when it comes to hard right wingers, if I had to pick out, especially in recent memory, two come to mind: Bush 41 and Bush 43.
Yeah. Yeah, those guys weren't.
They were both more right wing than Reagan was.
Yeah, well, they're definitely more right wing than Arnold Schwarzenegger for sure.
Because I mean, even up to, admittedly, he didn't always live up to it, but even up to the day his last day in office, Reagan was going, government is not the solution, government is the problem.
Yeah.
Which is a very libertarian stance. Although he was not even remotely libertarian, but the Bushes never came close to anything like that.
No.
So,
Nope.
No, and that's I can't think of any diehard conservative, like hardcore conservative that's come out of California. I don't. Even though there may be strong republicanism in that area, I don't see any just freaks coming out like the South seems to put out.
Yeah.
Or Texas, or pick a state. And it just, I think it's kind of just built into their culture.
Not as politicians, no.
No.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Not as politicians. It seems like a lot of it has. It isn't so much. It's not so much focused on the societal aspect of politics as much as about the economic aspect of politics when it comes to the left and right divide in California. Whereas here, it's 100% societal. Well, I wouldn't say 100%. 75-25 societal. Because the southern diehard Christian conservatives are focused more on the social policing aspect of things.
Yeah.
They
They don't give a
they'll
fuck about economics. They have no idea what that
they'll,
even
they'll,
means.
they'll give lip service to it, and that's the funny thing is like they'll talk a big game, but when they actually get into office, it's all the society based issues. So I know we'll use Mo Brooks for example. Mo Brooks is Northern Alabama's representative, House representatives, congressman.
5th district, right?
Fifth district, yeah, that's us. And so he focuses very hard on the societal aspect of things, but he does nothing from the whole small government, decreasing taxation. Does shit for that. So, we're not dealing with, I guess, the same. I think we're trying to compare apples and oranges.
Yeah,
even
for
when
sure.
even when it comes to just the overall mentality of it.
Mhm.
Yeah. But no, I mean, even when California does produce somebody who is closer to what we think of as a diehard conservative, they still have to keep to their California roots, go round the bend, ape shit about it. What is it, Kirk Cameron?
Oh, fuck that guy.
God, that guy. That fucking guy. Let me tell you. I am so tired of him. His sister,
Yeah.
hot as hell, but God, I'm so tired of him.
And
I don't
she's
think I've
just
ever
as
seen his
crazy.
sister.
She is just do what?
What's his sister saying?
Candace Cameron
Yeah.
from Full House.
Oh
DJ
shit! I didn't know that was his sister.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no clue.
Oh yeah.
Shit. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I mean that.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw some infomercial where she was pimping some worship music or something. And I just was watching and I was like, wow.
Oh, so she's batshit crazy too.
Yeah. They're all in the same batshit crazy timeline
No,
together.
that's good. I thought she did a porn. Maybe not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Doesn't sound like it.
Maybe.
Sounds like I might be
Actually,
mistaken.
no. I think it was actually the sister on Full House.
Jody.
Yeah.
Jody, what's her name?
Yeah. She actually had a drug problem and everything. So you're looking at two opposite ends of the spectrum here.
I bet Kimmy did.
And if you haven't seen the new Full House, the remakes that they're doing, bringing it back, don't even bother. It's not even worth it.
Yeah.
It's
fuck
not
that.
really a remake though. It's a
It's a
my understanding is
continuation.
it's a follow-up, a sequel.
Yeah, and it's horrible. Just horrible. So
Oh,
don't
yeah.
even bother watching it.
Fuller House, I believe.
Fuller House.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not a fucking chance. I'm gonna watch that.
Nope.
Not a chance.
I gave it a shot with the kids. And I was like, I can't do this.
Not a
I
chance.
haven't even gotten around to watching all the Marvel stuff on or DC stuff on Netflix yet. So
Yeah.
Man,
hell
you gotta
no, I'm
watch
not
that.
watching that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just put that at the very last of your list.
Very
Anyways,
last.
Going back to the whole California thing. So yeah, Schwarzenegger, he was definitely more just the economic aspect of things. He was not trying to really do anything societal outside of typical basic GOP platform shit. That's kind of boilerplate across the board.
Yeah, I don't remember him ever having any kind of position on anything that had anything to do with like social conservatism.
I mean, he had plenty of positions on his cleaning lady, but
He
you know,
did. Yeah.
that's
God almighty.
hell
Why
yeah.
the fuck. Oh my god. What's his wife's name? Maria. What's her name?
Maria Shriver, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Skeletor.
Yeah, but still, Skeletor. I would much rather have Skeletor than fucking SpongeBob SquarePants. That fucking cleaning lady looked terrible.
Love. You can't define love, sir.
Yeah, but she was really goofy. Like goofy. Like it's just not
Goofy
for me,
chicks
man.
need love too.
I mean, maybe she had a great personality. I don't know.
Maybe
She
did.
wasn't ugly. She just wasn't for me, man. That's just. Of course, Maria Shriver's not for me either.
No, God no. Oh, no. No, I'm
No.
sorry. It's kind of like it'd be like making out with that anatomy and physiology skeleton that's hanging up in the back end of the class.
That definitely ain't for me. No
Nope.
way.
No thanks. Pass.
No thanks.
Pass. But
there was
yeah.
no denying that kid was his though. The fucking head on that
And that's
thing.
fine. I don't care. And even like with like you deal with like Bentley, for example. We're bringing it back to
Oh,
Alabama
yeah.
politics.
God damn it. We
Governor
just can't
Bentley,
escape.
it was like, okay, I don't care. He's banging whoever. First off, you can't be on the GOP platform and say, any type of like moral compass party, or philosophy, and be kind of railing your, mistress on the side on the taxpayer dime. I had a problem with it. Him flying him and his girlfriend to Las Vegas for romantic getaways on the taxpayer dime. Had a problem with that. That's my economic stance coming out.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet he runs for Senate in 2020.
Probably. So
Anyway,
with Schwarzenegger's having a fling and having a child with this cleaning lady, fine. It's just funny to talk about, but deep
well,
down,
that kid was like 17 when he was a governor. It's not like he fucked her while he was a governor.
oh,
He's fucked. No, yeah, he was. The kid was like he was a teenager by the time.
Okay.
Yeah. Either way, it doesn't fucking
it's
matter.
like it's whatever. It is what it is. It's just I find it really funny that it's the GOP that always seems to have that problem.
It is. Look at Trump and Stormy Daniels or whatever. Yeah, Stormy Daniels.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, I mean, but that was in 2006. Why do we give a fuck about it? But you can't claim moral high ground when you marry your wife in 2005 and you're fucking porn stars in a hotel room in 2006. You can't do that.
No.
Maybe that was
Unless
part
you're
of the
just
deal.
wide open about it. If you're wide open and you think that is part of the moral high grounds, then so be it. But you're not. He tried to cover that shit up.
Right.
But
No.
on the flip side, I see all these leftists and liberals and Democrats, railing against him. And these are the same people that still defend Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
It makes
that's
no
called
sense, man.
intellectual dishonesty. Is what that's
Dishonesty
called.
all day long, and it's just like the shithole countries things. Yes, some countries are shitholes. No, you're not supposed to talk about people that come from these shithole countries and say you want people that come from non-shithole countries better. Because it really does look like he says, I want white people, not black people. You shouldn't say things like that when people already think you're racist, right? But it doesn't change the fact that these people have no problem with President Obama bombing shithole countries.
Right.
I was
You can
about
bomb
to say,
shithole countries. You just can't call them shithole countries.
Right.
Yeah, it's-
exactly.
It's fucking stupid, man.
yeah, I keep seeing memes along that theme where it's like, bomb the hell out of shithole countries, nobody bats an eye. Call them shithole countries,
Everybody loses.
Everybody
loses
goes
their
up-
mind.
yeah.
That's true.
And,
If
and-
you-
go ahead.
I'm just bitching. You go ahead.
Yeah, bitching. Now that's pretty much what I was gonna do too. I was gonna try to curb the bitching. It's just with California being what it is. It does carry. California is a massive state for presidential elections. Like
Yep.
Yeah.
it is a key state to get. Bottom line. But it's got a lot of really odd policies to it. And that's kind of going back to what I was saying earlier as far as the bipolar emotions I get. Anytime I read something from California, I'm either going to be like, I'm not super emotionally invested, but I'm be like, oh, that's really fucked up, or, well, okay, that's pretty cool, But, here recently there was, I guess there was a rocket club out in California that was attached. Hang on, was attached? I think it was attached to a school of some sort. Yeah, it was a community college. That they weren't able to compete in Huntsville because Huntsville's the rocket city because they build rockets here. It's all missile related, jet propulsion, shit like that. Well, they weren't able to come out here and compete in this competition because of California's anti-discrimination law that does not allow state organizations to travel to other states who are discriminatory in nature when it comes to the gay and lesbian community. So you see stuff like that, and you wonder why. Why do states feel like that they need to impose some sort of sanction on other states, but actually sanctions on their own people?
Yep.
Over that state's policies. Because what you're going to see come up is this whole states' rights conversation. When it comes to a lot of what's going on with California, especially when it comes with some of the immigration crackdowns that we're seeing, they're going to start playing the states' rights card. Well, I mean, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot if you're sitting here and saying that you're going to prevent travel, official travel, of, in this case, community college students who are excelling in the art of rocketry from being able to participate in something going on at NASA, which is a federal level organization, because it happens to be inside a state that you don't agree with their discrimination policies.
Of course, rest in his eyes.
I'm sorry, did I bore you, Horace? Am I keeping you awake? I'm sorry.
I have been up since about 9:30 last night.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
So,
Running out of gas.
yeah.
No, but I mean, I saw the story popping up. I thought it was kind of interesting. It's like, California wants to be like, especially on the left side. It's like, yeah, we welcome everybody. We're everywhere, and unless you don't agree with us, then we don't welcome you, which sounds oddly familiar to the hardcore right side.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And neither one of them can see that. And that's the thing that blows my mind is the hardcore right, hardcore left can't see that they're just like each other.
For me, part of the entire thing with California and them trying to, these counties trying to split off as their own state is the fact that I'm just waiting for some smartass to slip into the process, okay? When they're trying to come up with a name and they're trying to come up with a flag, and they call themselves, somebody slips it in, it's the New California Republic, and the flag is a two-headed bear.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty slick.
I'm okay with that. I think a lot of people out there would be a tip of the hat, of sorts.
And only fucking gamers will get that one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I would like to see how the electoral votes swing if the breakup happens just like it says, because I'm willing to bet that old California retains a surplus amount of those electoral votes.
Oh God, yes. They'll probably maintain 3/4.
Yeah. And New California is going to be like one electoral vote. Nobody's going to give a fuck about it.
Oh, no, because how many did they have?
I don't know, like 1,000.
Well, there's only
Like
535.
400,000.
So they have 1,000.
They have 1,000 of them at least.
All you need to win is California, and you win it all.
I think they had something like, what is it,
Just win
100,
LA.
105, 110? Something like that?
No, I think it was like 55.
Was it that? I thought it was more than that.
Well, I mean, God, we have this thing called Google.
Yeah.
I think I always yell at my kids about. I'm like, use
55.
Google.
Yeah,
Oh.
55.
If 55, did I get it right?
You got it right.
Oh,
Good guess.
shit, look at that. Luke actually knows something. Holy hell.
So they would probably keep 45.
I would think
40 to 45 of them.
I would think so.
Because most of the areas that are wanting to break away are rural. They're not big city. They're farming.
Yeah, Fresno's like one of the biggest cities that would be breaking away, which is not very big compared to those other guys.
Yeah. I mean, I think like Sacramento falls in that mix too, right?
Not sure.
It falls in. It would be the way it's drawn on the map. It would stay in old California.
Okay.
Yeah, because it goes like right up the coast and then whoop, let's get Sacramento and then up the coast a little bit more.
Whoopsie.
Yeah.
Actually, I think from what I remember seeing of the map, there is one of the larger cities that I do believe would go to New California. And I think that I want to say it's San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the southernmost city in California.
That is, that's San Diego.
Yeah, you're right. San Diego is in that. I thought it went all the way down.
No, it goes down. It's like, listen, just south of L.A. to just north of San Francisco.
So yeah, San Diego would be. But there's a lot of left wingers in San Diego too.
Yeah.
And Fresno. So I don't know. That's kind of that's what I'm saying. Like it's still when you're talking about voting to it's not really a secession. It's just a split into two states. You're still dealing with the with democracy. You're still dealing with the majority rules, and you have this maybe these 2 or 3 cities left that are mostly left-leaning cities, and you're saying, well, we don't give a fuck what you think. We just want you to be part of the right wing California or whatever. It's kind of a double-edged sword.
I think the way they did it was a strategic carve out.
Yeah.
Because by doing it that way, both in the north and the south, New California has port areas.
Mm-hmm.
So they have ocean access.
Yeah, there's no doubt
north
about
and
it.
south.
Yeah.
So yeah, we might have to take a couple of more liberal cities with us, but the population of those cities, although they're bigger cities, especially compared to like anything in Alabama, they're not L.A. They're not San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Which makes me curious from a revenue perspective too, kind of how they're going to play this out, because that state pulls a ton of money off of the part of California that wants to that would be considered California or old California.
Yeah.
You look at the taxes coming out of L.A., look in San Francisco. I mean, and remember this is a tax heavy state. And that's where the bulk of the population is. So not only the income tax, property taxes, stuff like that, that's the revenue that they have to figure that problem out. I'm not saying that I advocate for that. I'm just saying it is what it is, and you kind of have to have to account for that variable.
Well, and that's part of why some of these areas want to get away. They're tired of the high taxes. They're tired of the energy rules
and the fucking housing market. Goddamn,
Yeah.
L.A. to buy a 3-bedroom house is a fucking $1 million, and because it's $1 million there, all the fucking rich people that aren't quite that rich are moving north and east. So it's making all those houses go way the fuck up, and now you have John J. Farmer who's out there tossing salads to sling some almond milk or whatever the fuck they're doing. Can't buy his house.
Yeah. But but tie it back to the Cal exit movement, that most everybody's aware of. California as a whole trying to secede from the United States. Does this kill that?
I
mean,
don't know.
I would say that most of the people who want to secede from the United States are in that coastal region that are carved out. I mean, I would imagine.
So it may wind up with, as part of the deal, the coastal region gets to go off and form their own country.
That's a little different, but forming your own state and forming your own country, that's 2 different worlds.
Yeah, the trade-off. The coastal area gets to form their own country. The rest of it gets to become New California.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, that's one thing that I believe it was even the Supreme Court weighed in on after the Civil War. It's like, you can't. Sorry, you can't. You can never leave. Which I mean, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
From what I remember of the ruling,
you want to be your own state.
It's not that you can't
break off as your own country.
Bear with me here. It's
All
not
right,
that you can't.
Bated breath.
It has to be unanimous. All other states must agree unanimously.
I need all the other states. Okay. Well, at this point, nobody likes California as much as California likes California.
It might
so
be more than just a shot in the
yeah,
dark.
if nothing else, New York, probably Connecticut, Rhode Island, Washington, Oregon would probably vote to keep them.
Well, yeah,
or vote to leave. It's kind of.
I don't.
I don't think this is realistic. I don't think that any of them are going to leave. But that's if one of them did, that would be a really slippery slope for the big time left states.
Yeah, it would.
Because it's not like a natural segregation like it was in the Civil War. It's not like there's North and then there's South. This would be like pockets all over the United States of seceding blue states, which is really strange because all you have to do is vote the right way in 4 years and you get your president back or whatever the fuck.
I'm going to mute myself for a couple of minutes, so just keep talking.
Okay. All right. A blowjob?
I don't know what's going on.
Hmm.
Hope he's okay.
I don't know.
Great. Well. Okay.
Man, have a conversation.
Okay. He's okay.
Anyways,
Conversation. That's fine.
So, yeah, so California is really weird because they basically, this Cal exit thing comes up, right? And
Right.
I don't know if it's because that coastal area just hates Donald Trump, hates the fact that they got their feelings hurt because the Republican won or whatever it is. But I'm looking through how their counties voted, and it really was a toss-up. I mean, all those external counties besides Los Angeles, I mean, and all the other coastal regions, it's a toss-up. It's like 50-50. Trump wins some, Clinton wins some, Trump wins some, Clinton wins. So what is the big fucking deal? It's 4 fucking years.
Yeah.
Just get your ass out there and campaign for your horse. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's not that bad.
Yeah. But again, presidential elections, your vote does not matter.
Right.
The popular vote does not matter.
But it does matter in your county. That's what I'm saying. Like if
Yeah.
So, but and these counties are so like there's some that are just landslides for Trump and some are landslides for
Yeah. I mean, it's a wash.
Well,
yeah.
Have y'all actually
welcome
looked
back.
at the? Yes. Sorry, my foot is cramping. The toes are trying to curl
Oh,
backwards.
I love that.
Oh, that's a good one.
And
That's
it's-
the best.
I'm trying not to scream. So,
Just eat a banana. Get some potassium in there.
I had banana earlier today. So,
Is somebody rubbing your foot right now?
no, it's
There's a problem with that. Not it.
Not
Katie's hands are not working tonight. She's
Okay.
having her own issues.
Katie's
still
hands took the night
recovering.
off. Cool.
She's still not
I
recovered
know.
fully from the surgery, so.
I'm attempting humor and failing miserably, so I
Well,
apologize.
no, I'm in pain, and sense of humor has just flown the coop.
Okay.
So,
So I mean, has the topic of California, is this what's causing the cramps right now?
Probably.
no, the creature we lovingly refer to by his nickname is Felinus Assholius went out through the utility room door and left it open. So we have a cold draft coming in now,
Gotcha.
and I think it hit and it set off cramp.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
But
Wow. Wasn't expecting that tonight.
so I'm gonna say something.
I'll let you.
Boom, 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 boom.
Is it coming back to you?
It's all
Do you want us to come back to you in a minute? And
Keep
just
talking. If I think about it, I'll just
Just write it down on a piece of
Hold up.
paper. It's like what I tell my kids when it comes back to you. Write it down on a piece of paper and let me know.
Maybe we're just out of shit
yeah.
to talk about. We're just out of shit tonight.
I'm one of the first people to spout off. If you don't write it down, it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
And mind you, I will admit I stole that. I did not admit that. I stole that.
Well, yeah, it's
I stole that from Tom Clancy.
He probably stole it too.
I don't know. But it's one of the things Jack Ryan's wife says.
I imagine her as being like a 5'3" Hispanic woman.
Who's this? I'm sorry.
Jack Ryan's wife.
No.
Oh, yes.
No, she's
Read a lot of the books.
I want to say 5'8".
Yeah, she's a big girl. She's a sizable woman and built like a brick shithouse too, apparently. But that's not how I imagine her when I see her. All those
Going back to California.
big thick books, a little bit about a wife. You know what I mean? Develop
Yeah,
that character,
I know.
bitch. Develop that character.
Anyways,
let's go.
She's just an unnecessary character. It doesn't really matter. But let's go with, since we're talking.
We're
about
spiraling out of
Yeah,
control.
we are spiraling. I'm trying to get this train back on track, and I'm not doing a very good job either. Going back to California before we start talking about fictional wives again. You know, what's up with these ICE raids?
Oh,
Did you hear about that?
yeah.
So
it seems like they're actually picking on California.
Yeah, exactly right. I was going to say, I mean, because like Jeff Sessions is Jeff Sessions.
Nudie pics,
Remember
Jeff.
that last week?
Oh my God! No, now Jeff Sessions is focusing on sanctuary cities in California and actually wanting to arrest the politicians who support sanctuary cities. And apparently, Oakland has issued some sort of statement saying that that none of their law enforcement is supposed to cooperate with ICE during these raids that are coming in. So pretty much the state and local governments are separating themselves from the federal government, which is only adding fuel to the fire for whether you look at it from the Cal exit perspective or from just the splitting off into two different states.
I will have to side with the cities in this case. Sessions has no ground to stand on. They can't necessarily interfere with what the feds do, but under no circumstances are they bound to assist them in any way.
Right. No,
shape,
and
or
I
fashion.
get it. Totally. But I mean, that brings up a really good question though about sanctuary cities. What is the libertarian stance on sanctuary cities? Because you're gonna have half the aisles being like, well, if it's the federal government has a rule, then you have to follow that rule. But then you're gonna have the other half. It's gonna be like, doesn't the local government have more say of what happens inside their imaginary borders than the federal government does?
I mean, I got to go further back than. I mean, my personal libertarian stance would be that they're not illegal. They're just fucking immigrants. I mean, they're not even really immigrants. They're just on this side of the imaginary line now.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So, but moving past that philosophical utopian vision that we like to have and enjoy talking about, I'm gonna side with I'm gonna side with California and the cities for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even the Supreme Court has more than once. I mean, they have repeatedly, put their foot down on this issue, and it's what is it, the anti-commandeering doctrine?
Not familiar.
Yeah.
The federal government may not commandeer local state forces.
Right.
Yep.
Because they're all operating on different legal principles.
Yeah. So, like I said, they can't necessarily interfere, but at the same time, they are under no requirement to assist them at all.
Yeah.
No obligation. I remember go ahead.
I mean, they can interfere, and there has been times where, I think we talked about last week, where local law enforcement has stood up against federal law enforcement.
Oh yeah,
and they back down. So there is that ability to interfere. It's just they're choosing not to because it would be a massive shit show.
Yeah.
And that's the word tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Shit show.
Shit show.
Use that
all of this is shit show.
6 times. It's always a shit show.
This is a show. You're watching a shit show right now.
This is the ultimate shit show.
The problem with interfering is this: from a legal perspective. In doing so, even if they're abiding by local laws, they could still theoretically be arrested by the feds for impeding a federal investigation.
Well, yeah, that's true from a federal law perspective. I totally get that. But at this point, when do you start separating law from morality?
It should always,
in this
should never really be separate.
The 14th Amendment kind of makes sure that they are joined all the time. That there's this equal protection under the law for everyone. You can't it doesn't matter if you're an illegal immigrant. You still can't get forcibly detained without due process. I mean, that's pretty much what it says. Yeah. Everyone within our borders is protected with equal protection. Doesn't matter if you're white, black, brown, from Mexico, from Honduras. Doesn't matter.
Would you like to type that up and send that to Sessions?
No, I don't.
You want to get on Twitter? Can you get on Twitter and tweet that to Sessions for me real quick?
I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, that's one of the things that Republicans they tend to forget that in their worship of the Constitution as this supreme document that is everything that has ever existed. They forget about that one really important and in my opinion, it's one of my favorite amendments. Just if I have to pick one, I'd make love to that one. Just because it's really simple. If you're on our land, you are protected by our laws.
Mm-hmm.
Not you are you're under the jurisdiction of us, that you're protected from us, basically.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, at some point when morality starts to break away from the rule of law, you got to side with morality. I think. I don't think you do. If you don't, you're a shithead.
And then that's a topic that's come up even here locally in some of the Facebook comments on some of these news stations in regards to police officers. You know, there is this thing called selective enforcement that people don't realize. When you talk to somebody, especially on more so on the right side of the fence, they're gonna be like, well, the cop they have to follow the law. They have to enforce the law. They don't. That's just it. Selective enforcement gives law enforcement officers and prosecutors the right to pick and choose which laws they actually pursue based on their own subjective feelings of it. Not necessarily whether or not they agree with the law or not, or it's just whether or not they feel like pursuing it. That's why if a cop sees you without wearing a seatbelt in this state, they can pull you over for it. But if they see you and they don't pull you over, they're utilizing selective enforcement, saying it's not worth my time. I don't give a shit. I got better things to do.
Most people are probably going to be somewhat familiar with the idea, just by a different term. And it's usually done from the prosecutorial standpoint, and that's prosecutorial discretion.
Right.
Yeah.
And so in this situation, they can even the ICE agents can stand there, and they may lose their job. Don't get me wrong, they may lose their job, but they can take a stance and say this is getting out of control. I don't know what kind of hard on Jeff Sessions has for 7-Elevens, but apparently they're going to be hitting all the 7-Elevens in Northern California with this ICE raid.
Kind of like they did with the ones last week, or
Yeah,
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm not understanding. I'm really not putting together the hatred for 7-Elevens. You know, now if they're going to go for like the chicken farmers, okay, I can see the logic there. They're going to go after all the roofing companies in Northern California. Okay, sure. Why he's so stuck on 7-Eleven? I just don't get.
Like, I thought that they all hated Mexicans, man. Why are they going after the Indians and the Pakistanis?
Right.
What the fuck do they do? I don't know. It's not like they're coming over stealing jobs.
On the flip side, this is Sessions. He may not realize there's a fucking difference.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. That's one
go
thing.
get those little skinny Mexicans that run gas stations. We'll go after them.
Yeah.
I mean,
If they have a brownish tint, they're Mexican.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's Alabama politics for you.
Yeah, it is really silly, man. I don't know. Well, Birmingham, Alabama's aren't they a sanctuary city?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they recently became one, yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing that people are like, take away their funding. What? Okay. Or what? You know, like what?
Yeah.
What
funding does really Birmingham get? Apparently, it's not for the schools or for the infrastructure because that place is a fucking shithole.
Right. I don't know, man.
No. It's funny. It's funny to see just yet again 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven stock must be hurting really bad. I mean, like. Because honestly, if I was the CEO of 7-Eleven, I'm getting this much heat from the Attorney General, I'd be kind of pissed.
Yeah.
Especially when he's not really arrested. They're not getting anybody. You know.
Yeah.
You're picking up like 6 people. I mean, shit, you could do that walking through the mall. You know.
What was it? 100 raids, 21 arrests.
Something
like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great use of taxpayer dollars.
Also, it's a big old fucking waste of money. That's just it's goofy.
Yeah.
If you're gonna waste money, waste it doing something at least interesting.
Yep. 97. Yeah, it was 98 7-Eleven stores with 21 arrests.
Oh, well, that's much better odds.
Not even one
21
each.
out of 100. That's so fucking. Yeah. Oh my god.
I mean, we're talking about 1 in 5 here.
Yeah. That's kind of what we're looking at. It's
And
just sad.
I can't even.
Anyway.
But going back to two things, I remembered what I was going to say earlier because we were talking about the presidential election.
Holy
Have
shit.
y'all actually looked at the county by county maps of this 2016 election?
I did in California just now.
No, I mean nationwide.
Oh no.
And the number of counties, I want to say there's like 5,000 and some odd counties. I forget the exact number.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
You know, Trump won over 4,000.
Yeah, I believe that.
Okay. Cool.
I mean,
Now I would
We're
be
talking
surprised if Clinton won any in like Montana and
Oh.
North Dakota and South Dakota.
he won like 80% of the counties
Yeah, I
at a
believe
county
that.
level.
I
You know,
believe that
it's-
for sure. Yeah.
The other thing is, as far as morality versus law, it's been said by a number of people, but the basic premise for me is, if it's an unjust law, justice requires disobeying it.
Right. I think Jefferson was the one that kind of coined that concept.
Well, I think Jefferson said something along those lines. Martin Luther King said that.
Right.
Or sorry, Martin Luther King Jr.
Junior. Well, that's I was assuming that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's been a number of people. I think Gandhi said something along those lines.
Mm-hmm. One of the other Mexicans that Sessions hates.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I don't think it's going to do any good. Even these raids, whether they're targeted at California, targeted at just 7-Eleven, or just it's not going to accomplish anything. It's just it's a dick measuring contest at this point.
Yeah.
They're whipping out their political dicks, and that's where we're at. And that's Sessions has got that little man syndrome. He's got Napoleon, the Napoleon complex.
I don't know how far it'll go, but Sessions is starting to push some people's buttons, and there's a bill. I don't know if it's a Senate or House bill, and we're talking U.S.
Mm-hmm.
That y'all are. If I say Rohrabacher Amendment, do y'all know what I'm talking about?
Not off the top of my head.
No.
Okay, the Rohrabacher Amendment is an amendment that it's thrown on to some kind of legislation every year, NDAA, maybe something else that is a must-pass type thing. And basically, it's what prevents the Justice Department from spending even one penny on going after medical marijuana
Okay.
that complies with state law.
Right.
Well, there's a new bill that's been put forth
Mm-hmm.
that expands that to, as long as it complies with state law, you can't spend a penny on it.
Right.
And it covers banking
Oh shit.
related to marijuana.
Nice.
Yeah,
That opens up a lot of business.
It does.
So, I mean, as long as, basically, if this passes, and whereas the Rohrabacher Amendment has to be approved every year, this has no sunset. It's a permanent thing. For it to change, Congress would have to change it.
That's not. I mean, I'm okay with that. Whether or not the Congress will actually do it or not. This is probably the biggest turd of a Congress I've seen in a long time. They've done jack all nothing. And then, by the way, Jeff Sessions is 5'4".
Oh,
Is he?
nice.
Yes, he's a wee man. Still
Gotta
one
get
of
those
those nudie pics. We're still waiting for those nudie pics of Jeff Sessions.
Okay.
I wish there was a nudie pic of him in China.
I can
God
make
rest
that
her soul.
happen. I can make that. I could.
Oh, she's dead. I wouldn't want to do that to her memory. Isn't she dead? Yeah, she's
I
dead.
thought about the country of China. I was
no,
like,
not China, the fucking wrestler.
Yeah, the rest. Oh my God, yes, yes. The Amazonian woman versus. Oh my God, that would be great.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to get into
She
the
did a
growing
Playboy
pot,
spread.
man. Yeah, she did. Yeah, we're gonna have to buy us some land in California or Maine or somewhere and grow us some weed.
I'm okay with that. If Maine will ever get their shit together.
So I was just substantiating the claims about the counties, and Trump won 2,600 of the roughly 3,000 counties.
Okay.
Like 3,100 counties across the United States, he won 2,600.
So,
Which is, I mean, that's not surprising. I would say that the last two Republican candidates probably won similar.
And that doesn't mean that they liked him. They just hated Hillary enough
Yeah,
to vote
I don't
for
know
him.
why people don't understand that. Like, it's not anything against women. I mean, it is for some people. I'm sure there's some people that said I will never vote for a woman president because they're just dickheads like that. But that's not what it is for me. She was just a really shitty candidate.
oh, yeah.
Like, we overlook Benghazi. That's fine. Just do whatever you want to do about that situation. That's fucking sensational movie. She still helped ruin Libya. Like, that's a pretty big fucking deal.
Yep.
Still authorized drone strikes all over the fucking world. That's still a big fucking deal.
Then there's that whole uranium deal that no one's really ever talking about.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like
well, that's
it'll
fake
pop
news.
up and then go away. Yeah,
That's fake news too. Yeah, like none of the dirt that has ever come out on any of the Clintons or any of the Democrats, period, is ever real news. That's just all bullshit because it's Republican propaganda. But all the shit that comes out against all the Republicans is fucking take it to the heavens. By God, that's God's word. It's just ridiculous.
In their defense, none of it can ever be corroborated. Everybody keeps dying before they can.
Mhm.
Right.
Which
Yeah,
is
and
why I'm perfectly okay with never meeting her. Like,
Right, yeah.
like you've got the kiss of death on you, and I am all set. I'm gonna end up in a lake somewhere.
You know, they're suiciding by shooting themselves in the back of the head twice.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and fucking cat burglars scaling like 17 stories of an apartment building. Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out
The
of
fucking
here.
cat burglar. Get out of it. That's not fucking real. What is this, spy versus spy?
Oh,
I haven't thought about Spy versus Spy in a while.
Yeah.
Mad Magazine.
Hmm. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I've really got on California.
That's all I got on California.
It's just one of those states that I kind of look forward to seeing pop up in the news to see which way I'm going to fall on this topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys got anything else on this topic? No.
I
Everybody
do
seems
like
kind
In-N-Out
If I
Burger.
come up with anything else,
Yes.
I'll throw it out. But
Yes, In-N-Out Burger. That's a delightful place.
Yeah.
never been.
Oh.
It's
I mean,
good.
it's not the best burger in the world,
No,
but
but
it's
it's good.
fucking good. Yeah.
It's good. No
Double
doubt about it.
animal style.
I mean, I know a lot of. I won't say a lot. I know quite a few people that the first thing they do when they get to California, stop at In-N-Out.
Yeah.
Last thing before they leave, In-N-Out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that was the first place where I was introduced to Chipotle. This is before Chipotle even made it out here, and I was like, this place is pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I've never eaten there.
I will
I have a couple times.
I will destroy a Chipotle every day, all day.
That's
See,
a
for
big
me-
fucking burrito.
It is. It is amazing. You know you've passed the 30 mark when you get more excited about food than you do about a lot of the things you used to get excited about when you're 20s.
Right.
Like, fuck yeah. Oh yeah, 3-pound burrito. Oh God, load me up. Let's do it.
See, for me, when it comes to stuff like that, my top choice, although I don't think we have one around here anymore, I don't even know if the chain still exists, is Cadobo.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
There used to be one down at what is it? Airport and Whitesburg.
Okay.
You know where Fresh Market is?
Yep.
Yeah.
In that shopping center.
Yeah.
It's like it's an L shape.
Mhm.
It's on the opposite end of it was on the opposite end of the L from Fresh Market.
Okay.
It's like you go all the way around. It was down there. I think maybe it's a Zoe's now or something.
Probably.
McAllister Deli.
Huh?
McAllister Deli.
McAllister Deli
Deli.
is what Katie said.
In case you guys are listening at home and you don't know, we're talking about something that's inside Huntsville. So if you don't know, you can just go ahead and just fast forward this part.
Yeah.
Of it.
The other one is I think a national chain, Moe's.
Yeah, Moe's is
Southwestern
all right.
Barbecue?
No, Moe's Southwest Grill. Or
Yeah,
whatever it
Southwest
is.
Grill, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, there's
there's
Moe's
a-
Barbecue and there's Moe's Southwest.
I was gonna
Grill.
say,
You just- you mix and match.
Yeah.
Moe's Southwest Barbecue.
Well, we're talking, Chipotle type food, so, I don't think Moe's Barbecue qualifies.
I like Del Taco, man.
Yeah.
Again,
fucking
never been.
El Scorcho. Fuck yeah.
El
Tear that
Pollo
ass up.
Loco.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Enjoy that one too. California does have some good parts to it. Sadly, we're only finding the restaurant chains that are pretty much native there. I guarantee nobody in California is going, hey, you know that Jack's chain? It's only in Alabama. God, that's the best food ever. Guarantee
No,
that's
but
not
I
happening because
do
it
remember
sucks.
there was a lot of people that when the whole Chick-fil-A gay marriage thing came out or whatever, that a lot of people were like, "What the fuck is a Chick-fil-A?" Everybody's like, "Oh my god, you never heard of Chick-fil-A?
That's
It's
a
like
southern
the
thing.
best waffle fries." They're like, "What the fuck's a waffle fry?"
Yep. That's when I was living in New Hampshire. Someone was like, "Oh, I've heard this thing called. Have you ever heard of a thing called Chick-fil-A?" I'm like,
Yes, I
yeah.
have.
I mean, that's a southern. It's a southern. Well, it used to be just a southern chain, like Waffle House.
Mhm. Yeah, but there's one in North Dakota, obviously.
Apparently so, and that's a great segue.
Yeah, kicking bitches out for breastfeeding.
Kicking bitches out for feeding their babies.
Get the fuck out of here, Chick-fil-A. What are you thinking? This is the owner-operator of a Chick-fil-A franchise. That's the one that booted her out.
That explains it all. It's fucking Chick-fil-A.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all the explanation anyone should need.
And for those who do not know what a Chick-fil-A is a restaurant that's based out of Georgia, not too far from where I grew up.
They didn't create the chicken, just the chicken sandwich.
Yes, thank you for that tagline. But it's a very
Works.
Christian organization. Truett Cathy was the founder of it. He had a lot of roots up in North Georgia. Started what's called the Windshape Center. With his money, he was actually adopting kids and putting them into this like really nice group home camp. And he wasn't a bad man. But when he died, the company itself got like super duper religious and was actually donating a lot of their profits to anti-gay marriage organizations. And to the point where even those organizations were helping fund legislation in African countries for the murder of gay people.
Yeah.
Which kind of set that whole dumpster fire. This was probably 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was about 4 years ago. And that came out after the president or CEO or whoever.
Yeah.
One of the Cathys was like, I don't agree with.
I think it was like his son or his grandson kind of.
Yeah. He's like, I don't agree with gay marriage. And then there's like, oh well, it's just one guy. It's not that big a deal. And then they dig into it and they're like, no, actually,
They're donating millions of dollars to keep.
Oh, yeah.
to
penny
keep
from
those evil
every
gay
dime
people.
that you make kills a gay African.
Now look, I don't like Chick-fil-A. I don't like the food. I think it's overpriced chicken. The waffle fries, I'll give you that. But overall, I have no
Listen,
desire
bro,
to go
that
there.
fucking Polynesian sauce for real.
I'm
That's some
not
good
I'm
shit,
not a
man.
big fan of the waffle fries. They're okay, but
I'm not big- they always fuck
if
my
I
order
want
up.
if I want a special fry, I want me some Arby's curly fries.
And I'm sorry, I don't trust a business that isn't open on Sunday.
Not
If
me.
you're not open on Sunday, get the fuck out because
That's right.
that's when I like to eat a lot is Sunday. So go.
Right,
Now,
yeah.
as far as the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches, oh fuck yeah, they're insanely tasty. And I fucking miss them because I will not do business with Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah,
I will not do any. Somebody could buy it and offer to give it to me, and I would reject it. I will not support them in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
I just don't like the food. And when that came down, that was pretty much the censure for me. I was like, I don't really care about. I don't care about their food anyways. So.
No.
But I'll tell you what, though, if you're going down, this is also another local reference. If you're going down 72, that Chick-fil-A that's right across from like the Lowe's and the Home Depot, that place is constantly packed, non-stop packed.
So is the one further down. The one further down. The one close to Jordan Lane. The one
Okay.
beside
Yeah.
Hooters and all. Yeah.
Like people will wait in line, like cars will be wrapped around and sitting in the highway for the.
Yeah.
I'm like,
If you accidentally stumbled upon the show and you're listening and you're from like fucking New Mexico or one of
I
those states
apologize.
that doesn't have normal shit,
I apologize.
Chick-fil-A,
Or from
they
outside
don't.
of the U.S.
Yeah, first of all, yeah, yes, we apologize, but when we say that they will wait in line, they will literally wait in their cars and wrap around the building several times just to go through a drive-through.
Oh, yeah.
They're sitting in their cars for 45 minutes to get a fucking chicken sandwich and some waffle fries.
Not this
And-
guy. Fuck that.
Not
Not
me
this guy.
either.
There's a Sonic
I
next door. I'll go hit that Sonic. I'm good. You know.
Yeah.
As far as chicken sandwiches, like I said, I have to give Chick-fil-A credit.
Chicken sandwich. This show has got to get some structure, people. Holy shit.
Their chicken sandwich for me is the fucking bomb. I love it. Although I have found out from talking to several people that there is a secret to it. And
It's not real chicken.
Oh no, it's real chicken. It's what they do to it.
Oh, sprinkle Catholic dust on it.
They pray on it.
No, they brine it in pickle juice.
Huh.
That makes sense. I mean, because it's that dill taste that it marinates in. Yep, I can see that.
And it just kicks it up, that makes it that magical Chick-fil-A flavor.
Wow, I haven't seen Horace get this excited about something in a while.
Yeah, maybe we should just talk about food. Maybe we should
Hey.
just look at news stories where people that some restaurants do stupid
Maybe we should
shit.
just convert this to a food show. Like,
That's it.
Oh hell,
We
I
probably
could,
have more success.
I could
Probably.
do that. I could do a daily one of those.
Yeah.
I'd like
Food
to
is
eat
my
food.
passion.
Food is good.
So
It's
anyway,
yes,
Chick-fil-A, the owner-operator told this lady to cover up or get out. And before any of you are thinking, man, what do these guys care so much about this? Why shouldn't she just show a little modesty and cover up her tits? Well, do you like eating under a fucking blanket? Of course not.
Right.
Yeah. So don't send us any hate mail because you're a fucking moron.
Please send us hate mail.
No, well, yes, obviously, yes.
I'll
send
take-
us
I'll take the hate mail,
We'll
but
take
no.
any mail
Oh,
we
yeah.
can get.
Good God.
We
you
will
know,
take the hate mail, and we will happily post it,
Yeah.
and we will
Don't be
call you a fucking
stupid.
idiot.
I can't stand that shit. Like, show a little modesty. Like, it's fucking food. Like the baby's
It's
sucking on a
boobs.
tit. And it's just a
Who
boob.
cares?
And,
Yeah,
okay,
like,
now,
do you say show a little modesty every time you see somebody at the fucking swimming pool in a bikini? No, you don't, because it's not showing a nipple, right? But it's only bad if it's a woman's nipple. And these are women saying show a little modesty. Get it over yourself.
And a lot of those comments are coming from Southern women, and so you know
Oh,
that this
yeah.
this is definitely the conservative Christian
yeah.
aspect of our culture kind of
Jesus,
coming out.
Jesus didn't
Yeah.
suck titties.
Jesus
No.
didn't suck on them titties. No one else should either.
Yeah. Now, I do have to do something that I hate to fucking do. I really,
God.
really fucking hate to do this.
Oh, you're playing devil's advocate.
No.
Oh.
Thank God.
I'm going to have to step up and go, the principal libertarian stance is it's his property, his rules.
Ah. I will give you that.
Yes.
I don't
I'm
deny
not-
that.
This
I
isn't
hate
a
to do
legal
that,
argument.
but-
This isn't a legal argument, in my opinion. Yes, I think
Yeah.
it's his property, his rules, and but I also do think that you should be allowed to breastfeed your fucking baby. But yeah, it is his property, his rules. Kind of goes along with that no shoes, no shirt, no service type of thing.
Yeah.
I get that argument, but he still a dick.
Yeah,
And-
he
and
is.
in
And
all
I wouldn't
honesty,
do
it wasn't even-
business with him.
It wasn't even an issue of public health. I mean, she wasn't lactating all over the place that I'm aware of.
Man, wouldn't that be great to see? I would like to
Oh, I'm
see
sorry.
a
Does this bother
woman
you? Here, check out.
lactating all over a nude Jeff Sessions standing next to China the wrestler.
Oh.
Your wish list
Okay.
is impossible. Let me tell you.
It's getting longer and longer and longer.
I need to bone up my Photoshop skills and.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
Make that
brush
happen
up
for
on
you.
it. You make that happen.
No, Horace
that'd
is
be a
right.
great
I mean,
t-shirt.
like, I totally get that. Yeah, his property, his doesn't say you have. You know, we're I guess we're picking on him more on the aspect of it, or just
Yeah.
picking on people who have this like issue with boobs
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
yeah.
I'm
See,
not-
I don't-
small children suckling on what they're supposed to suckle on.
The main problem was one of the patrons went to the manager and said, "Hey, my son and my husband are here. She needs to cover up."
Who the fuck cares?
You mean your son? You can't Your son can't see a baby eat, you fucking weirdo. If your son's getting a boner watching a baby suck a tit, then something's wrong with your son, right? Nothing wrong with
Well,
that
let's
tit.
not get crazy for a second, okay? Let's just not get crazy. Let's not start throwing that freak word out there. I mean,
Right,
come
yeah.
on, it is a boob, but
Yeah.
still.
But the owner, it wasn't like the owner went under her. I think it's a woman. She wasn't under her own volition, just walking out there being like, "Cover up, bitch," or "Get out." It wasn't like that. It's someone initiated it, and she was like, "Okay, well, I don't want to lose the business of this Baptist, so I'm gonna go ask her to cover up."
Right. But
Yeah.
we had the same problem even here in Alabama not too long ago, because that story popped up a couple months ago in Athens, I believe. And I can't remember where the fuck it was. Same type of issue though. Somebody was breastfeeding. Some patron complained. The manager doing their manager things, or the owner doing the owner things, was kind of like, we're having some complaints about that. You know, why? What is the big fucking deal? They're just boobs.
They're just boobs.
And
It's
see,
because they've been, I guess, because they've been sexualized. I mean, I sexualize them. I think they're fucking great. Tits are amazing.
Yeah.
But they're also really cool because they feed babies. You know.
Right.
Well,
When they're-
actually, so tits are amazing because they feed babies, but they're also really cool because I like them.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll put
That's
it
a T-shirt. Just
in
waiting to
order of
happen.
priority. right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. They're just tits, and I don't know.
That's just something that I guess we as
Thank
people.
God babies aren't ball fed. That's all I can say.
This is one thing that I'm hoping that the next generation, like after we're dead and gone, kind of works through this whole breastfeeding thing. Like they see the struggle and they're like, it's just breasts, whatever.
I think moving forward, one of two things is going to happen. Either over the next 20 to 30 years,
Mhm.
we're going to continue going down the road we're going, where things kind of go back to the 60s era, you know.
50s.
No, 60s.
60s,
Woodstock.
okay.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Woodstock.
Open
Free love. Yeah, gotcha.
You know,
Gotcha.
I would
Free
say
love,
that-
drugs.
You know, all that. At which point we, wrap around again. Or the younger generation finally gets their act together and goes, "You old fucking idiots, no, we're not doing this anymore." And they just open up a whole slew of different things.
I see that option just being a bunch of socialist naked people at that point.
Well, I'm not down with socialism, so. But
No, I know. I'm
the
With
just
the
rest, I'm
naked
okay.
thing, we're good with naked stuff.
yeah. I'm just I'm all for like the naked libertarianism. I'm cool with that. It's just when you start getting the whole naked socialism, that's my hard limit. That's where I go.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. It is a
No, this penis does not belong to you or you or you. It is mine. It is all mine. Leave it alone. Don't touch it.
But no, I mean, most of the younger people I know, they don't think twice about casual nudity. I mean, it's just not a big deal for them.
Nope.
Even if they're not doing it themselves, if others want to, whatever.
I don't care.
Whatever floats your boat, they don't care. So,
Yeah.
so I'm seeing some hope. That they are getting more
Yeah, but-
open-minded about,
Every
As
time
long
I
as-
see one area where I start having hope, there's another equally important area where I start losing hope. So it's
Mhm.
it's this constant, just like roller coaster of sadness.
yeah.
Mm.
So,
So that-
these
yeah,
shows
so-
are,
Chick-fil-A.
start being 2 hours at night,
Oh yeah.
2 hours a week. I'm guessing.
Shit, yeah.
I mean, but look at all the fun we're having.
I know,
wow.
right? Yeah. So what else we got on the whole
Horse
Chick-fil-A
been up
story?
I don't know. Well, see, Aaron brought up a good point, because we were just on the conversation that, like, I wish a motherfucker would tell my wife to cover up in front of me. Like, I would just wish a motherfucker would. Like, sometimes I used to go out hoping that someone, but she didn't really breastfeed in public that much, maybe like 3 times without covering up. It was just like pop a boob out, stick the baby on it, no big deal. But most of the time she did cover up because that was her choice, right? She wanted to make some kind of cover up because she didn't want people to see her tits.
Okay.
So,
That's more power. They're hers.
right.
Whatever.
But I was just kind of hoping that I would get to fucking unleash this conversation on some dumb poor bastard that was like, cover up, my husband's gonna get a boner, or whatever. But so we got to the point, like, I would like to know the statistics between society's version of attractive and unattractive women being asked to cover up. Like I would like to know. She brought this up, so I would like to know if that woman would have been like society's version of a 10, would she have been asked to cover up?
Oh, that's a great question. That's actually a social experiment that needs to be done.
Yeah.
I think.
Or is there a better chance that she would be asked to cover up because men would be more interested in seeing her tits? I guess
That's a great sociological experiment.
I think probably the hotter, the more likely to be asked to cover up.
Yeah, I think so too. But Aaron said no, just because this woman was. I don't remember actually seeing her face.
Was she a wildebeest?
She was a little overweight, but I don't remember what she looked like. So I don't know.
That's a great.
It was an interesting because obviously nobody ever asked Aaron to cover up. And I also would like to know like how many of these women being asked to cover up are with their significant others. Like if
you're asking a lot, you're asking for a lot of data, sir. You're asking for a shit ton of data.
I would just like to know because I know for a fact there's not a whole lot of motherfuckers that's going to approach my table while I'm trying to eat and tell my wife to cover up. There just ain't a whole lot of them. There's just you know what I mean. So. Then I would like to know if their significant others if they're smaller men, do they still approach them? Ask them to cover up.
Oh my God.
Or if there's a gun on the table,
all these data points, these metrics, like in my mind, I'm trying to calculate this from like a statistical.
What if she's with her service dog, who's a Rottweiler? Are they still going to ask her? What if she's going down the road?
Can you please?
What if she's driving?
Can you please write these down in a Word doc and send it to me? So
we'll get started on this. We'll see if we can get a government grant to study this goofy shit.
Probably could. Probably give them at least $500,000 to study breastfeeding.
Yeah, let's do it.
Katie just interjected a comment. She looked at the clock.
It's time
to
go.
No, she said, y'all need another hour.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Maybe the truth.
We do. If we had more corporate sponsors, I'd say we'd go for an hour. I could probably sell that.
We could do this shit all day, whether or not people want to deal with that.
Well, this is 2 weeks in a row we're going to be looking at an hour and a half plus.
Yeah.
This is like
I think it was
3 out of the last 5 shows that are pretty long.
Yeah. We're just not giving a shit about structure at this point.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Whatever.
Are we even still recording?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Look in the upper right corner. You'll see a little red dot.
No, is that what that means?
Yeah. So.
That's interesting.
But on that note, yes, it has been an hour and a half. So.
We're
going to wrap this bad boy up.
Yeah, I would say just don't fucking look when you see a tit if you don't like seeing tits.
Well, that's part of it too. You know, from a guy's perspective, like we were talking about this before the show, it's like, you know, trying not to look, but I don't want to be like obvious that I'm not looking, but then I don't want to make it awkward for you or for me. But I'm a guy, so I'm naturally like, oh, okay, there's a boob there. It's not that I'm like, you know, taking mental inventory or anything.
Yeah,
it's just like, okay, boob acknowledged. Okay, all right, so keep. But then if you do that in front of somebody, you know, and there's significant others there, and they don't know you, they're gonna think that you're a freak or a creep because you looked at their boob. I'm like, it's, you know, it's just so what? It's a fucking boob.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Well, for me, it kind of comes down to, you know, sometimes there will be a group that is formed by an absolute crackpot. I forget the guy's name, but he's the leader of the Raelian movement, or Raelian religion. But he founded this organization that I wholeheartedly support called Free the Nipple.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, the guy that founded it is a crackpot. I mean, it's one of the, you know, aliens have come to Earth. You know,
it's one of those lizard people. There it is. It's a UFO religion that was founded in 1974 by Claude Vorlahon, now known as Rael.
Yeah. So.
Weird. Okay. The Raelian movement teaches that the life on Earth was scientifically created by a species of extraterrestrials, which they call Elohim.
So.
Yeah, I've seen them.
I guess I got me some reading to do tonight.
Somebody else uses that term Elohim too.
The Jews?
That's it. Yeah, the Jews. That's it.
Jews and Christians.
Those were one of the choirs of angels.
That's right. Now it's all coming back.
Like
you
a
have the
really
Elohim, the
bad memory.
Seraphim, the Cherubim. I believe were the three of the. I think there's 7 choirs. I can't remember the other ones.
Yeah.
But I think it's
This ain't a religion show. We will talk forever.
No shit, man. No talking fucking loops about religion.
But no, like I said, I'm a huge fan of and full supporter of the Free the Nipple movement.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm not so much into supporting the fucking feel my box to get rid of rape culture. You see that shit that we posted on.
Oh, that. Yeah, I posted that.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, it's just like this chick standing in a booth in the middle of the street that's like, you can feel my pussy to get rid of rapists or something. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know where the logic is in that. But
honestly, I wouldn't trust a vagina on display like that.
Not a fucking chance, man. You're getting your finger snapped off, that's for sure.
Snapper.
Yeah, that snapper's gonna get you. I mean, it's her body. She can do whatever the fuck she wants, but that's still weird.
I'm all set.
I'm good, man. I don't think that's gonna get rid of rapists.
No.
You're just gonna get the weirdos like, oh, that's what it feels like. I'm good. I'll pass.
45-year-old virgin.
Yeah.
That's right up there with the
Feels like a
one
warm honey
chick
bun.
that, as an art piece, she posed nude in the gallery and basically let the people in the gallery do largely whatever they wanted to her.
Yeah.
And they were pretty fucking abusive.
I don't know if I saw that.
So,
Yeah, that's a little. That sounds interesting. Sounds like something you can.
I get to wear
99
this
cents
shit
a month
crossing
for.
my fade.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, so apparently Horace's feed is a hell of a lot more interesting than mine, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I got
fucking cat videos and fucking keto recipes.
I have a number of people on my feed who are very sex positive, and they post a lot.
As opposed to sex negative?
Yeah. So like, you got one girl that's HIV positive. All right, let's check this out. So, listen, you remember those sites I pulled up last week?
Lemonparty.org is one of our sponsors.
Yeah, so one of them spun off Chatterbait, like a pop up, and I had been looking at Chatterbait for like an affiliate program, right? And it popped up, and like that was the one. I closed down the 2 really bad tabs in Chrome, but that was like the one I left open. So of course I'm up here doing my show till 11 o'clock at night, and Erin comes down first thing in the morning. She's like, what the fuck is this?
Oh shit!
Like, no, just go to these sites and then you'll understand. You think that's bad? Check this out.
Yes, lemonparty.org, proudly
and
sponsored by lemonparty.org. I encourage you to go visit that right now.
Yeah.
Lemonparty.org and meatspin.com, right?
Meatspin.fr.
Oh, meatspin.fr. Yeah.
Oh, French.
They looked French. The one on top did anyway.
That's awesome.
That's a French bush for sure.
I'm not even gonna go there.
You have to.
No, I don't.
It's part of the deal.
Their sponsor.
I don't care until I say.
I will add that. I'll add that to the graphics.
Yeah, you should.
I start seeing Show will come my way. Fuck 'em.
We should reach out to him.
We are running off the fucking rails, so we are actually going to end this.
We're out of here until next week. Sorry you had to fucking deal with it.
Let's quit where we're ahead, all right?
Yeah.
So you have wasted another hour and a half of your life listening to us go on and on. Started out with Alabama, ended up in California. Now we're not. No, we have no fucking clue where we are.
Which is about normal.
Right. So I'm gonna say check us out on Facebook, Uncivil Liberty Show. Check out our website, uncivilliberty.com. Not much on there. But hopefully we'll be able to start fixing that here soon. We're on Twitter. Not overly active on Twitter, but
yeah, everything we post on Facebook is posted on Twitter. And
awesome.
I get into a lot of arguments with Fox News.
There you go. Perfect. So
building the brand.
That's Halston's area, and then of course the podcasts, which is Horace's area of expertise.
Yep. And we are on iTunes, Google, and Stitcher.
Wait.
Plus,
That's sweet.
Plus, we have the actual RSS feed on the website, And if you just want to listen to it immediately, each episode has a link you can click on that will take you to it, where you can listen to it right then and there.
There it is.
Because it has
Beautiful.
a built-in player.
Hot damn.
So check it out.
And YouTube.
And YouTube.
Like
Yes.
us and subscribe on YouTube.
Yep. And YouTube. We have 9 followers. I think 3 of them are us. So
Hot
there's
damn. That ain't bad.
I think we went up.
We probably
That ain't
did.
bad.
At least we're not going down. All right.
That's all that matters.
Silver
Yeah.
lining. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
speaking of which,
I'm waiting
fuck
to hit
Jeff Sessions.
100.
Huh?
Yeah, we'll hit 100. We'll get there. You just
One
hold
day.
on to your panties. We're trending upward.
So you got the fuck Jeff Sessions.
Fuck Jeff Sessions.
Offer still stands for anyone who's listening.
Yeah,
Jeff
I need
Sessions movies.
Jeff Sessions.
But now
movies,
it
man.
needs to be with the wrestler China.
Yeah. What was the other one that we had? Oh, with somebody lactating on him.
Yes, being lactated all. Oh my God, that'd be great. If
And
you
there's
could
got to
find
be a
that,
power tool or something in the shot. It doesn't have to be handheld. It could be a large power tool, like a
Oh, okay.
industrial size compressor or something. You know. just
Oh,
throwing
okay.
it
So you're actually a legitimate power tool. Okay, we're not talking. We're not using
Not that
metaphors to
bullshit.
describe sex toys. I got
No.
you. All right.
out. No, not that.
So,
bullshit.
anyways, we're ending this show now. Check
Yes.
us out on all the aforementioned social medias and the websiteries. And until next week, you guys have a great night.
Good night, all.
God damn it. Night, y'all.